Wouldn't it be cool if you could add a thermal camera in Ubiquiti? Wouldn't it be cool if you could have your thermal camera in UniFi Protect? But you can. Let me show you. Hey everyone, this is Ryan, the owner at Snowy Owl Security and your certified UniFi provider in Southwest Iowa. And today we're going to answer the question, how do you bring in a thermal camera into UniFi Protect? As you might know, UniFi does not currently offer a thermal camera, and thermal cameras are different from the night vision cameras that you're probably used to seeing. Night vision uses infrared and has infrared illuminators and allows you to see objects at night at a little bit of a distance. But thermal cameras are different. They actually look for body heat that's coming off of the person, and they operate in a completely different spectrum. Your IR cameras operate somewhere between 700 to 1,000 nanometers in wavelength of light. However, thermal cameras are at 8,000 to 14,000. It is possible to bring a thermal camera in from another manufacturer. So let's take a look at how we could do this, and more importantly, how we can actually make it portable so that you can carry that thermal camera with you. So these are the items we're going to need for today's experiment. We need a thermal camera. We need a way to connect that thermal camera to our system. And we need a way to power it since we want it to be portable. So let's talk about what each of these components are going to do. This is our thermal camera. It's a Hikvision. It's an older model, but as you can see here, it's got two lenses on the front. The first lens on the left-hand side is the optical lens, and then the funky looking metal lens there, as I zoom on in, that is the thermal lens. So this camera, we're going to bring it into our system with ONVIF, and then we're going to use it specifically for the thermal portion. This is a portable Ego inverter that is attached to an Ego battery. As you can see here, it's got a normal plug on the front, plus some USB plugs in case you wanted that. And this will let our system be portable, and so we can walk around the house and test out the thermal camera. We can't move around without the camera being connected, so we're going to connect via Wi-Fi using what we call a device bridge. So this bridge here is going to plug into this device here. On the front of the device bridge, we've put in an Ethernet cord that's going to power the camera here and give us a portable camera that can stream to our NVR while we are walking around with it. Now, in order to add a ONVIF camera into UniFi Protect, you first need to build an ONVIF profile inside the camera. Hikvision makes this relatively easy. You can go to the IP address for your camera. You'll be prompted for an admin username and password. Once you log in with that, you can go to Configuration, go to Network, Platform Access, and under ONVIF, you'll see that I've already created a user here. All you'd have to do is click on Add the user. I recommend making it an administrator type, and then Save. And you'll have a username and password for your ONVIF profile. Then, in UniFi Protect, you'll go to Settings, you'll click on General, you'll go down here to where it says Discover Third-Party Cameras, and then check that box, and after a couple of seconds, that camera should appear for adoption under the Devices section. Click on the camera to adopt it. It will prompt you for a username and password. Use the ONVIF one that you just created, and voila, you will have the camera inside of UniFi Protect, as you can see here. I've got the portable thermal camera set up right here. Here's the thermal camera. Here's the inverter with the battery. And then here is the device bridge. You can see it's got blue dots, so it is communicating. And sure enough, it's on UniFi Protect. Let's walk around and see how it performs. So after playing with the thermal camera for a while, I think it was a lot of fun. You can actually bring that thermal camera into Unifi Protect without too much issue. I think the biggest downside to the thermal camera is that unfortunately when you bring it in, at least with the bi-spectral camera, you can't do a whole lot with it. And that's because Unifi Protect doesn't let you control which feeds you actually pick and get to record with when you bring it into the system. Let me show you what that looks like and why I'm hoping in the future Unifi will be able to fix this. All right, so you can see on Unifi Protect here that I've got the Hikvision camera brought in, and when you click on it, you notice that there's really not a whole lot on there. Now remember, this is a bispectral camera, so camera number 1 on the feed is the visual or optical camera, and camera 2 is the thermal camera. You can see on the recording here, I have the option to record always, custom schedule, and never, and that's about it. I don't have the ability to do AI detections, motion detections, or anything like that. Now, the way that we could get that, and this is what I normally do with ONVIF cameras, is to add the AI port to it. So I'll click on pair, I'll select the camera, I'll click save, give it a second to pair up, and you'll see the AI logo next to the camera. And there you go. And now when I click on the camera, look at that. I now have recording mode. I can create AI events. I can create audio detections, motion events, all that fun stuff. Everything is on there. But here is the downside. You can see that it is using camera 1. And if I go to display, even though I can display camera 2 over here, if I was to actually try to do any of the detections with our motion zones, smart zones, etc., it's going to record it off of camera 1. Now, the only reason I could even see the thermal profiles in the first place is that I actually went in and made the thermal profile the highest or as high as I could in terms of throughput and in terms of frames per second and its bit rate and such. And then I lowered the frame rate and everything else on the optical feed. But unfortunately, it still wasn't good enough. And even if I go into here and I try to, I go into the AI port and I try to manage and select the low quality, or even if I select the high quality and click on save, you can see here that while I can see the thermal in this one, I'm still getting camera number 1 over here. And so let's say, let's take a look at it in the playback. You can see that in the playback here, let's try to download a section. So let's go to download that, and let's open that clip up. So you can see that on the clip here, even though you saw the thermal, it's only recording off of camera 1, which is the optical camera. So unfortunately, it's not going to allow us to select the thermal as our primary way of doing AI and other detections. Although we can view it, we can't actually do a whole lot with it. Now, I do think that this would be fixed if you had a thermal only camera. So if you had, instead of a bispectral camera, you had a thermal only camera, you would be able to bring in only the thermal profile because it's the highest quality, because it's the only one, and then you would be able to do your detections from there. There certainly is enough bitrate, enough pixels here to be able to do AI and motion detections for sure. So if you had a thermal only camera, you could probably do it at least. I haven't had a chance to test it. But if you have a bispectral camera, you're unfortunately going to be able to view only essentially with the camera and do screen captures like I did. But hopefully in the future, Ubiquiti will change that on the AI port. So that way we'll be able to do more with thermal cameras, and maybe even Ubiquiti will bring one out. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully they'll make those changes here in the near future. If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe and send it to all your friends, because you know that they want to watch people dancing on the thermal camera as well. And if you happen to live in Southwest Iowa, or you're in the greater Omaha area and you're really interested in bringing Unifi to your place of business or residence, please drop us a line at snowyowlsecurity.com. Our phone number is in there as well. We would love to hear from you, and we'd love the chance to bring Unifi to where you are at. And I hope to see you in the next video.